All right, what's up, everyone? This is a new episode of Sports Harder. I am your host, Maddie Lukewarm Ice, and my co-host for this evening, as always, is Chris the Gorilla Binder.
What's up?
He goes from the yawn, then I was like, oh, he's gonna do it mid yawn, flex mid yawn.
Yeah. It's been a long week, man.
Yeah, it definitely has. And we're excited to be able to take some time just to chill, do the podcast, talk some sports. We have a lot of fun stuff to go over, including some fantasy football stuff that happened. Don't want to, give any spoilers away or anything like that. But somebody might have beaten somebody in fantasy football this week. So
Garbage time. Garbage time. Let's be real. And if I would have played Devontae Smith, man, I would have beat your ass.
Yeah, I mean, it was very close, and I'll take garbage time anytime. Especially with you being in first place in your division, and now I have to go against the wifey this week, so it'll be a divided household as we go up against each other. And I know you'll be rooting for me because then that puts you farther ahead of her in your
Yes.
division. So,
Yes.
but thought it was going to be a little bit of a runaway in the division there for a little bit. I thought it was just going to be you and gosh, Paul. I thought Paul was going to like run away with it too, but he's had some losses here recently.
Same here.
Yeah, and then you've taken some losses recently, so it's all still up for grabs, which just makes me happy because I wasn't even thinking I was going to make the playoffs there for a second. So
No, you won't.
I won't make even the playoffs.
Nope.
Wow.
You'll make the loser bracket.
Wow. Dang. Harsh words after losing to me.
Yeah. Half of my team was on a bye, so I went with like other players, and honestly, I should have put in Devontae Smith, but he's been averaging like 4 points a freaking game.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll put this guy in because he'll actually do all right. And he got 0. Freaking Brian Edwards, man. Didn't do shit. Like, it was a tough loss. It was a tough loss.
It was a tough loss. So
I
what you're
should
saying is it was a tough loss.
I should have won.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but you didn't. So yeah, let's look at the college football rankings here now that we had a weekend of upsets that had happened. So it was Michigan State. The first time Michigan State gets put into the top 4 in the college playoffs, they end up losing to Purdue. So seems like it was a little bit of a mistake to put Michigan State in the top 4.
Told you they didn't deserve it.
Yeah. Still given, I told you what would happen, basically happened when we were messaging about it. So number 1, Georgia, number 2, Alabama, number 3, Oregon, number 4, Ohio State. And then on the outside looking in is number 5, Cincinnati, and number 6, Michigan.
Cincinnati deserves that damn spot. Oregon, Alabama, Oregon, and Ohio State have all lost a game.
Yeah.
Like, why is Cincinnati not in the top 4? Like, it's bullshit. Like,
yeah.
the freaking, like, guys, the people that vote and put this together, they need to get their heads out of their asses when it comes to the SEC. Like, they're on their nuts too much.
That is true. And they just like to put in the big name schools because, I mean, that's what gets the most money and all that jazz. So,
How is the Cincinnati Bearcats not a big name school?
well, like compared to Ohio State.
Ohio State shit right now.
Yeah, but I mean, their
They
name.
lost
I'm
to
not talking
Oregon.
about how well they're playing. I'm saying their name.
Yeah, that's stupid. And Alabama could lose 2 more games and still be in the playoff.
Yeah, that's very true because it's Nick Saban. So they are looking more and more like not as juggernauts as what they seemed like they were going to be this year. So we'll see once the playoffs hit. I think they're going to struggle. Cincinnati and Michigan, I think both still have a chance to get in. for sure, if Michigan beats Ohio State, then Michigan's got to be put in. If
And Oregon
Oregon
will
gets
lose to
another
Utah.
loss,
They'll lose to Utah.
Oregon
I think Oregon's going to lose to Utah.
they'll lose to Utah. So
Dude,
yeah,
Utah is tearing it up.
so that means both Cincinnati and Michigan could get in then.
So Stanford beat Oregon, right? That's Oregon's loss. Is
Yeah.
Stanford.
Yeah.
And did you see what Utah did to Stanford?
No.
52-7.
Mm.
Just never let off the gas pedal and stomp the ever living hell out of Stanford.
Just annihilated them.
Yeah, made them look silly. But I think Oregon's going to have a tough time with Utah, and that game's coming up shortly.
Yeah, so it seems like every time a new top four comes out, they put like someone in that's usually not up that high, and then they lose the very next week. So at least that's what happened to Michigan State.
That's what happened with Oregon too when they lost to Stanford. They got put at number 3, and then they lost to Stanford, dropped down to like 16, and then won like a few games in a row and got put back at number 3, which I don't think they deserve. But
yeah, and then Iowa did the same thing where Iowa was in the top 3, and then they got beat and got shoved out. So
and who beat them?
Who beat Iowa? Wasn't it Purdue?
Yeah.
So like Purdue's beaten Michigan State and Iowa with them being top 4.
Yeah. Kicked them right out of the playoff.
Gosh, Purdue is just like, hey, we just crushed the hopes and dreams of other teams, but we're not going to play that well. They got them ranked at 19 right now for Purdue. They're 6-3.
They deserve to be ranked with who they've beat.
Well, I mean, being 6-3, we'll see. So yeah, that's the playoff rankings as of right now. Like I said, both of us feel that will change here very shortly. So
yeah.
Let's see.
I want to see college football playoffs without Alabama. That would be nice. I don't care who else is in, just take Alabama out.
Yeah, good luck on that happening.
Right.
I
think we could see Georgia as a national champion, though.
Yeah, the one year they played Alabama and they were like beating them so badly in the national championship game. And that was the year they put Tua in, I think. And Tua led Alabama back, and they ended up winning the national championship. Like Georgia like choked it away. So they have another chance this year.
Yeah.
Of course, they got to beat Alabama in the SEC championship game anyways.
Yeah, they'll have to beat them twice, which is stupid.
So yeah, let's look at NBA standings right now. I know there's not much news going on right now other than there's talks of maybe Simmons going to Boston. But he's still basically being suspended and fined by the team every time he's not there. So he's just losing money every day at this point.
Yep.
But as of right now, of course, there hasn't been very many games that are being played, but in the Eastern Conference, the Wizards and the Bulls are both at 8-3. Brooklyn's at 8-4. 76ers are at 8-4. Miami's at 7-4, and Cleveland's at 7-5.
What happened to the Charlotte? Like, what happened to the Hornets, dude? They started out the season so hot. Weren't they like 4-0? And now they're like 5-7 or 5-8.
They're 6-7 now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like they started out so well and now they're below 500. Like, the hell happened?
Yeah, and I'm very impressed with my Bulls so far. They've been doing good. They beat the Brooklyn Nets. So, and the Nets are supposed to be like the NBA champs this year according to Vegas odds. So, I like that we were able to go up against them. Now it's a regular season game, obviously, so it doesn't have as much gusto with it with that win, but I'll take it. I like it.
The Bulls are beating good teams.
Right? Yeah.
Like they beat the Jazz, they beat the Nets. Like they beat I think they beat the Lakers too.
Yeah, but everybody's been
Like,
beating the Lakers right now.
but they're beating teams that are like top teams. So
Yeah.
the Bulls are looking good this year. Like Lonzo Ball, like you remember how I used to always make fun of his shot?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he doesn't do that anymore. Like he actually pulls up straight up jumper. Like he looks good. Like
Yeah.
I'll give him props, man.
His
I'll give
passing
Lonzo
is
Ball.
still on point too. He had a half court pass the other day that was like on the money to Levine, and then Levine like took 2 steps and dunked it after he caught it. Like that's how like on point it was, and it was from like half court. So
Yeah.
his passing is still good, and I think DeRozan has been a big help to us as well. So I think they got a good mixture of people in there, veterans and like young guys.
DeRozan's definitely playing better than he ever did with the Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think he's happy where he's at, and that's always a big thing. So the Western Conference, right now, the Warriors are on fire, man. The Warriors are 10-1. The Jazz are 8-3. Suns are 7-3. The Nuggets are 7-4. Dallas is 7-4. The Clippers are 6-4. The Lakers are 7-5. The Grizzlies are 6-5, and then it rounds out with the Kings and the Blazers.
Oh, the Blazers are at the bottom.
Well, the Blazers are in 10th. Yeah, they're 5-7. There's teams that are under them. They're not in last, but they're in 10th. So
They're having a tough season then, because they were top 8 team the last
yeah,
like 3 years.
a lot of people keep on chanting for Lillard to come to their team now. I guess that's a thing. So whenever he goes on the road, they like chant for him to play for their team, because I guess they really want him to leave. But he's one of those guys that like swears he's never gonna leave. I guess unless they trade him. So he's like, yeah, I want to stick with this team. I want to make this team great. I don't want to hop over to a super team. Um, but now the crowds are like chanting for him to come to their team wherever he's playing. So I guess that's like turning into a thing. I don't think that'll make anything, because the Blazers don't want to get rid of their biggest name on their team. So
Yeah.
unless they ever decide that they want to rebuild and give him to a good team finally.
But since we're talking about the Western Conference, we should talk about that Nikola Jokic shoulder in the back of Markieff Morris.
Yeah, you can bring it up.
Like, I don't know, man. Joker was in the wrong, obviously. He got fouled, threw a fit, like shouldered him like pretty damn hard in the back. Like, I watched it in a little more slow-mo, and like he hit like square between the shoulder blades, like right below the dude's neck, right below Markieff Morris's neck. And he hit hard. Like Morris wasn't expecting that. And I think that's why it hurt him. But I do think he overplayed it a little bit. He laid on the ground, like kind of twisting and turning a little bit. I'm like, come on, dude. Like if it hurt that bad, you wouldn't be twisting and turning. You'd just be laying there like, oh my God, this sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, still it was a hell of a hit. And I think he only got fined like $15,000 and
Yeah.
suspended for 1 game.
For 1 game. Yeah. And then Morris got fined as well. I think he only got fined like 5,000.
He got hit and he gets fined. What?
I think it was from something before that like triggered, him to get hit by the guy. I think that's why they did it, but it wasn't as much obviously, because he didn't do anything as bad as what Joker did.
I mean, you're the face of the franchise right now, dude. You can't be doing shit like
Well,
that.
he just came off an MVP, right? He won MVP last year.
Yeah. And he's the face of the Nuggets. Like he should not be doing shit like that.
Yeah.
Like I get that it's frustrating and you're playing a sport that's supposed to be a zero contact sport.
Yeah.
Like that's what they claim it as, is a zero contact sport. But I'm sorry, I've played basketball. I played in high school. That shit was not zero contact. Like you take some elbows to the face a lot. You take
Yeah.
elbows to the ribs, like you get people hitting your kneecaps. Like, and it's not them playing dirty. It's just you run into each other. It happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think Joker really messed up. I think he should have been fined more than that. I think he should have been suspended for more than one game. I agree with the ejection, but dude, being the face of the franchise, you need to keep your cool and you need to just play the game. Like, who cares if you get fouled? Like, the refs are going to screw you over no matter what.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. I saw like some type of video or update today where one of the players was saying that they're tired of the way the games are being refed. I thought it was Lillard, but I could be wrong. Just saying that it's like a joke and that the refereeing is like really bad this year because they're
It is.
implementing like a new thing, and I don't know what the new thing is.
Yeah, it's terrible, dude. I don't know what the new thing is either, but I know, man, the refs are biased. Like anybody that says that refs in any sport aren't biased, like they're high as fuck and they need to like reevaluate their life and look at the refs again because no, the refs in basketball, NFL, NHL, they're extremely biased. The only ones that like you could tell they're biased, but they can't really do anything about it is MLB.
Yeah. No, speaking of like bias and terrible ref calling, moving on into the NFL stuff. NFL refereeing has just been god awful this year, and especially with the taunting penalties. Uh, there's like an NFL meme on Twitter that gave like the MVP of the Steelers game to the ref and it like listed everything, the stats, and it was like 10 penalties and like however many taunting calls, which equaled 10 points going towards the Steelers because the refs had like called so many calls against the Bears that it was giving the Steelers basically 10 points. And it gave them the game at the end because apparently there was a taunting call that put them within field goal range and the Steelers were able to ice it because of that. I know with the Rams game, I'm a little bit biased, but I felt like the Rams game was so poorly officiated. It was crazy, especially at home. You would think, a home Rams game, you would get a little bit more going towards your way. But there was we had I think 12 penalties to 2 of the Titans. The Titans only got 2 penalties called on them the whole game. And
Yeah.
we had 12. Like that seems a little one-sided if you ask me.
Like, no, and Aaron Donald got that roughing the passer call.
Yeah.
Like, I saw that and there was no roughing the passer. Like, he ran up and he just barely touched Justin
Tannehill.
Fields. No, oh yeah, Tannehill. Yeah. So he goes up and he just barely touches him. Tannehill goes out of bounds, doesn't lose his balance, doesn't fall down.
Yeah.
Comes back out of bounds and they throw the flag for roughing the passer. But yet every time that they got to Stafford, they were hitting him in the head, which you are not allowed to touch the head of the quarterback at all. That is an immediate roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Like they were hitting his head. There was one of the tackles, like it was like literally 2 seconds after Stafford threw the ball. He hits him in the ribs. And there was nothing, no call. I was like, wait, what is going on with this?
Yeah.
Like they were not calling anything on the Bears or not the Bears, God.
The Titans.
Yeah, the Bears, yeah, the Titans. Like they weren't calling anything on the Titans. We were talking about the Bears Steelers and then the Titans Rams. I know I've bitched about the reffing for like years. because Raiders get penalized just for showing up to the game.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, it's one of those things where it's funny because then they don't hold up or they don't stop until playoffs start. And then all of a sudden there's not as many penalties called,
Let them play unless it's Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say unless it's Tom Brady, that's for sure. That was
No,
like the
one thing
most
that,
penalties I've seen called in a Super Bowl, like
yeah,
ever. Like,
one of the things that I've seen though, so like Max Crosby is getting up to like the level of Aaron Donald, like with his quarterback pressures. He's number one in the NFL with quarterback pressures. And number two is Yannick Ngakoue. Number three is Aaron Donald.
damn.
So the Raiders' two defensive ends are number one, number two for quarterback pressures. But if you watch the games, all three of them, Aaron Donald, Yannick Ngakoue, and Max Crosby, they are held on nearly every single play. And
Yeah.
it's not just like a little hold or like throwing them to the ground. Like the offensive linemen are wrapping them around their neck and like
Yeah.
holding them back. And it's like not getting called like ever. And it's because those three can't be stopped. Like there isn't an offensive lineman in the game that can stop any of those three. And I love seeing it for the Raiders, but I hate seeing that they're not calling the holding penalties.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree because then the players start getting frustrated and then they start getting penalties like unsportsmanlike conduct and stuff like that because they're getting upset because it's not being called.
or like Joey Bosa throwing a fit when he got held against the Raiders. Like he legit had an argument. Like he was held three times and none of them were called. But Max
Yeah,
Crosby was held every single play and got one holding call the whole game. So I mean, Bosa had a valid argument. He went to the ref and goes, "You guys need to call these holding penalties. Like, are you guys blind?" And he got an unsportsmanlike conduct for saying that.
yeah.
Like, I mean, it worked out in my favor being a Raiders fan, but I get the argument. Like, they're taking away the defense of the game. Like I prefer to watch a good defensive game. Like even if it's like a 9-6 game, like as long as the defense is playing well, I love seeing it.
Yeah,
Absolutely love seeing it because to me, defense is what wins championships. That's not just me. I say to me, but that's been the mantra for sports forever. Is defense is what wins your championships. It's offense is for show.
yeah. No, that's very true. I mean, there's been plenty of instances where teams have won Super Bowls with not so good offenses. I
The
mean, the
Ravens
Ravens did it, the
twice.
Broncos did it. Whether they had Peyton Manning or not on that team, that was still not his shining moment on offense. So
Oh
uh,
no, he was throwing ducks everywhere. Like
yeah,
that dude, he was past his prime. He was done.
yeah, he got what he wanted, which was a Super Bowl, and then right off into the sunset. So he got what he wanted. So in other news as well, Odell Beckham officially on the market. He was officially released by the Browns. The three big name teams that he's currently thinking about going to is the Chiefs, the Packers, and the Saints. So
I
out of
don't
all
think the
those
Packers are going to
three,
happen.
well, out of all those three, which is the best landing spot you think he's gonna land at?
None of them.
He's not gonna go to any of those teams, even though those
Nope.
are the three he said he wants to go to.
Those are the three that he mentioned because he won't go to the Chiefs because they're not contenders this year.
Yeah,
The Packers made an offer. They offered him the veterans minimum
yeah.
for 1 year. They said 1 year veterans minimum. He's not going to take that.
He
It's too
might just to prove that he can still do it.
too prideful. Saints, I don't think they're competitors. Like, does he really want to go from Baker Mayfield to Trevor Simeon? Like,
Yeah, that's
that's
true.
kind of what he mentioned, but maybe he was just kind of stoking flames so teams would back off him, like the Lions and the Giants. because they're both like kind of pushing for him, even though the Giants are the ones that traded him.
Well,
Makes a lot of sense.
he's not going to go to the Giants because he said he wants to go to a contender. So
Yeah. But the Lions and the Giants were actually pushing. Like they were going to put in waiver claims for him. Both of them were. And then he said, if I get claimed off waivers and I have to play for a team that I don't want to play for, I'm going to cause drama. I don't want to be there.
yeah. So what landing spot do you picture him going to then if it's not going to be any of those three teams?
I think he's going to end up either with the Seahawks.
Which they're not contenders right now either. I mean,
But
yeah,
you-
Russell
you
Wilson's
put-
coming back, but they're not contenders.
But you put him on the team with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. That's a little scary.
Yeah, but I mean, doesn't fix a bad defense. Look at the Chiefs.
Yeah. That's why I don't think he'll go to the Chiefs, honestly. I could see him going. Honestly, the Bills.
The Bills.
I could see him going to the Bills.
That would be a good 1-2 punch for Josh Allen.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs and Odell, and then have Cole Beasley in the slot. They'd have a pretty decent team. They'd definitely stack that offense up, and they wouldn't have an excuse to lose to the Jaguars.
Which who knew in a million years that was going to happen. Gosh, our picks were terrible this past week.
Yes, they were.
We did not do very well in our picks at all, but
It was upset city.
yeah, it
Like
really
college
was.
and NFL was upset city this weekend. Like it was bad. You watch a game and you're like, how the hell did that team win?
Yeah, it's very true. Excuse me. Let's go with our top five, bottom five, especially with things getting all mixed up. One team that Facebook people can not get mad at me about anymore was the Dallas Cowboys, because they were a team that I thought was going to beat the Broncos, and then freaking they get like annihilated by them. It wasn't even close. Like,
Yeah, they scored one touchdown. One. And that was
like,
in garbage time.
yeah, does that like take Dak out of MVP contention? Or
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't even know really who's in MVP talks right now.
Kyler Murray.
Like, yeah, but yeah, I guess, but he didn't play. He didn't play in his game.
He didn't have to. So, I mean, that right there to me, they still went out and dominated. Do they really need Kyler Murray? Is he really an MVP?
That's
He's
true.
He's not the most valuable player if the team goes out and dominates and destroys the team they're playing against without him.
True, but it was the 49ers.
Yeah, but the 49ers should not be as bad as they're showing on paper right now.
Yeah.
Like they're better than their record. But
oh, that's true. Maybe Murray is kind of still a front runner. A lot of people still think Lamar with how he's been carrying the Ravens, no Lamar, the Ravens definitely aren't playing that well. Or as well as they've been playing if they didn't have them, and that's like the definition of an MVP.
Well, Lamar actually broke a record this week too.
Did he?
Yeah, he has the most 100-yard rushing games by a quarterback. He beat Michael Vick.
Oh my gosh.
Finally surpassed Michael Vick.
So he's passed Vick on both things now because he did the most rushing yards in a season.
Yep.
Gosh. Well, let's start off with our top five, bottom five. Let's start off with your bottom five.
Bottom five. Obviously, the worst team in the NFL hasn't changed, even though they had a bye week. And then we had that joke that they lost to the bye week. The bye week is like 1-8 now.
Yeah, they don't even know how to win on a bye week. Yeah.
Nope. So yeah, the Lions are the worst team in the NFL. Absolutely, by far, they are trash. Number two, I'm going to put the Texans. Number 3, the Dolphins. Number 4. This is where it gets tough, man, because the Giants actually looked good this week against the Raiders. Now the Raiders played like garbage.
Yeah.
But the defense of the Giants is, I mean, it could be a legit defense. You know, they fought the Chiefs. They play well. The offense sucks. Daniel Jones is a joke,
Yeah.
but the Giants defense is kind of legit.
Yeah. I mean,
I
they're
don't know
built
if that,
around a defensive minded coach. So,
so it makes me think that maybe they don't deserve the bottom 5. Definitely the bottom 10.
yeah.
Like absolutely in the bottom 10, probably in the bottom 7, but I don't know if they deserve the bottom 5. So kind of changes things up a little bit. I'm gonna put the Jets at the number 4 spot.
Okay.
And then next worst team in the NFL. This one's tough.
You could maybe say the Washington football team. They're
No,
2-6.
I'm gonna throw us out here because I'm gonna put them in the bottom 5 because they were expected to do so much more than they've done this year. I don't really think that they're a bottom 5 team, but I'm gonna throw them in the bottom 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Oh, that's so mean. That's
It
so
is,
mean.
but they have done so much worse than anyone ever expected. They
Yeah.
were expected to be the number 1 team in the AFC, period, hands down.
Yeah.
They're in the running now. Like they've had a couple wins under their belts, but they're garbage wins. Like, oh God, you beat the Packers, but you beat Jordan Love and the Packers. The Packers were missing their second receiver. They were missing one of their running backs. They were missing like 2 people off of their defense, off their starters. They were missing like probably one of the best corners in the game, Jair Alexander. Like he didn't play. So
Yeah.
they were missing a lot of their power. And you barely snuck by them 13-7. Like you almost let Jordan Love out of Utah State beat you.
Well, it definitely seems like there's going to be a lot of questions when Aaron Rodgers officially leaves the Packers, especially with Jordan Love kind of making like a little mini debut of like, hey, this is what you can look forward to, Packers fans, and he laid an egg.
Oh, he looked
So,
like garbage. Devontae Adams saved his ass. Aaron Jones saved his ass. Like Devontae Adams made a couple like amazing catches that should not have even been caught. Like they were thrown that bad.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams was getting mad as well. You could tell he was getting frustrated and he was getting mad on the sidelines at Jordan Love. So it's it's not boding well for Packers fans if you feel like Jordan Love is going to be your future, or if you think Devontae Adams is going to stay with Jordan Love, like
Devontae Adams is not staying. He will be a Raider next year.
along with Aaron Rodgers.
Nope. Aaron Rodgers will either retire or go to the Saints.
Oh, the Saints. All right. Go throw to Michael Thomas. Already, well, my bottom 5 is basically very similar. I definitely have the Lions at number 5, obviously, with not having any wins so far. And then the Texans. I'd say after that, probably Miami. Was that
Exactly
1,
what
2,
I put him.
3, 4? Is that 4 right there that I just listed?
3.
3? Oh, so 2 more. So then I would have to say the Jaguars. I mean, yeah, they just came off a win, but I still don't
They
have
beat
that much.
Buffalo.
I don't have that much faith in them. And then Number 5, like I said, I was thinking about putting the Washington football team there, but
Where's the Jets at?
yeah, I would probably say the Jets. Well, switch that. I would say the Jaguars are better than the Jets. So I would probably put the Jets and then the Jaguars at 5. Like I feel like the Jaguars are better than them.
Cool.
So top 5, which will be very interesting for this week. Especially with the Packers coming off a loss, but like we already discussed, no Aaron Rodgers, they had Jordan Love. That defense still looked good. The Packers defense, I think, you only let the Chiefs score 13 points. That's not bad. So
Held
I think,
Tyreek to 50 yards.
yeah, exactly. So let's see, at number 5, um, I'm gonna put my Rams because I still think they're a top 5 team, but with them losing to the Titans and laying a big egg like Matthew Stafford did, where he had 2 dumb interceptions, and everyone's like, oh, well, there's the Matthew Stafford of old. When he has to play in a big game, he can never come through, but he can come through on all the easy teams. So he's got to show me that he can perform in those big games against good teams, because the Titans are a pretty good team. So I'm going to put them at number 5. Number 4, I'm going to put the Bucks. I still think they're a good team, and they're top of their division right now at 6-2. So, and then number 3, like I said, I got to put an AFC team, so I'm gonna keep the Titans where we're in the top 5 like I did last week. So I'm gonna put the Titans at number 3. They proved themselves without Derrick Henry, and their defense did good against the Rams. And then number 2 has got to be the Packers, and then number 1 is the Arizona Cardinals because they're 8-1 and they dominated their game without their number 1 QB. So um, they're they're just looking too much on a roll. Like they got the hype, they got the underdog mentality because everyone's talking about the Rams and not them. They got the momentum, like they got the swagger, like they got everything going in their favor right now. The Cardinals are going to be insane to stop this year. So yeah, I'm going to keep them at number 1 over the Packers.
Nice. Mine's a little bit different.
As always, per usual. At least you didn't like boo me this time or like give me a thumbs down or anything.
No. I think at number 5, I'm gonna put the Ravens.
Wow, the Ravens. Okay.
Yeah. I think they've done enough to kind of prove it. Like they've been in close games. They've lost a couple heartbreaking games, but I think they're gonna make a deep playoff run. They're not Super Bowl contenders, but they're gonna make a deep playoff run. I could see them in the AFC Championship,
Oh
honestly.
wow.
Like they're a tough team. I think if the Raiders face them right now, they would lose. Like the Raiders would lose. Or they beat them in week 1.
Yeah.
I think right now they would lose. And it wouldn't even be a close game.
Man.
And I
Okay.
hate saying that because I'm a Raiders fan,
Yeah.
I hate owning that shit. Number 4, I would put the Rams. Where I Yes, Matthew Stafford threw 2 shitty interceptions. My issue was the Rams offensive line gave up on that entire game. Like they weren't even trying to protect Matt Stafford. He was hit on like 75% of his dropbacks. And he
Yeah.
dropped back like 30 times. Like he was hit or pressured on 75% of his dropbacks. Like that's unheard of. Like the offensive line did nothing to protect him.
Yeah.
If they would have protected him, he probably wouldn't have thrown the first interception and then come out and thrown the second one. Like, he probably wouldn't have done that because guess what? He would have had time to get the ball down the field.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
number 3, I'm putting the Titans. Number 2, the Packers. Number 1, the Cardinals. I think if the Packers play Jordan Love one more game and keep Aaron Rodgers out one more game, the Packers are going to drop out of the top 5
Oh, wow.
because it's not something they're going to be able to recover from.
Having only 3 losses, that's not that bad.
Yeah, but I think the team at that point would kind of just give up.
Well, is he scheduled? He's scheduled to come back and play, isn't he, Rodgers?
Yeah, but is the team really going to trust him? That's an issue.
That is true. So let's talk about that real quick since you brought it up. With Aaron Rodgers saying that he was immunized, so he didn't actually get vaccinated, but he said he was immunized. Do you feel he knew what he was doing and he was lying just to get what he wanted? Or do you feel that he actually was just like, oh yeah, what I was doing, protected me, like I was protected? Or do you think he was just trying to get around not having to get the vaccine?
So he doesn't believe in the vaccine. It's perfectly within his right to not believe in it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that your job is safe. Well, you and I've had this discussion. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to continue working for a company and they require the mandate or they require the vaccination to continue working there, get the vaccination. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it is. But he was really big on like this hippie homeopathic medicine, and to him, he thought it would fight off COVID.
Yeah.
He wanted to try something different. Now he's at the point that people don't trust him because they feel like he lied, even though all he did was kind of twist the words, geniusly twist the words. But I don't know, like, it was deceitful. And
Yeah.
I think he did it on purpose because he didn't want to have the question of why aren't you vaccinated? He didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah. And I think that the punishment for him and for the team was very like lenient. I feel like they should have come down on the team and him a lot more. Like I think they only fined the team what, $150,000 or something?
300.
Oh, 300,000.
$300,000. A
Which is like,
multi-billion-dollar team.
yeah, which is like nothing for them. And
Yeah.
he didn't get anything but like a fine as well. And it's like he purposely broke the COVID protocols and the rules that they had set in place for all the players that everyone had to follow.
Yeah.
He's not an exception just because he's Aaron Rodgers. Like he doesn't get to say, well, I don't believe in the vaccine, so I don't want to get it. Well, then you're not going to play for the Packers then. That's what should have happened. Like, okay, well, then you don't get to play for the team.
It's like Kyrie Irving. He said flat out, no, I'm not getting vaccinated. Well, then you're not playing basketball.
Yeah, which is what happened. But I feel like Aaron Rodgers tried to do his like way around it and was just like, oh yeah, this is my sneaky way of still being able to get what I want and play. Like,
yeah,
I think it's pretty awful of him because he's exposing that to all the reporters, all the people that were there when he wasn't wearing a mask, all the players on the field. All his teammates have probably gotten it here lately, like Devontae Adams and all the other wide receivers. They all probably got it from him. And who like you said, who knows how much his team is going to be happy with that and how much they're going to trust him when they believed, well, he's vaccinated, so it's all right. I mean, it doesn't prevent you from getting it, obviously, but the simple fact that he decided that he was going to manipulate the system is pretty messed up.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. But he's a genius.
Don't give him props for that.
Well, no, because they asked, "Are you vaccinated?" I'm immunized. They
Yeah.
never followed up with, "What
Yep.
does that mean?"
What does that mean or anything? Yeah.
Yeah, does that mean that you got your vaccination? Does that mean you've gotten one and you're waiting to get the second one? Like, what exactly does that mean? So he was a genius in the fact that he played their words against them.
Yeah, that's true in that sense. But well, a lot of that I just really don't like. And I kind of had a lot more high regards of Aaron Rodgers, but after that, I was kind of just like, I don't know now.
Yeah.
So he just put a lot of people, including himself and other teammates, at risk. So uh, I just frown upon that. Like I said, be like Kyrie. If you're really that against it, then stand up and be like, well, yeah, I'm against it, so I'm not going to play. Instead of you know being a little turd about it and being like, well, I still want to play and I don't want to take it, so I'm gonna do this. Like, I don't know. He could have just been more of a man and been like, yeah, I don't believe in the vaccine, so I'm not getting it. And then the team could have been like, well, you're not going to play then, or whatever rules they'd have in place for it. But anyways, well, I'm kind of glad that you brought up a couple of those topics because I had totally like forgotten about it. And I definitely wanted to discuss and kind of see your viewpoint on it, especially with the Aaron Rodgers situation. Was there any other headlines that we kind of missed out on that we needed to talk about before we go into our picks of the week?
So we discussed Damon Arnett last week and what was going on with him. The corner out of Ohio State that was drafted by the Raiders last year. He was now cut by the Raiders. The whole video where he had somebody in his Instagram threatening him. So he posted a video on his Instagram of him holding like a bunch of guns and threatening to kill somebody. So officially, the Raiders now have lost both of their first round draft picks from 2020.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
so for the Khalil Mack trade,
Yeah,
we have Josh Jacobs.
that's it.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs for Khalil Mack. Is that a trade you would ever make?
No.
I love Josh Jacobs, but hell no.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Khalil Mack was like a transcendent defensive player. So yeah,
Yeah,
no, I never would have. But that was like the first thing Gruden did when he came in.
yeah. Got rid of Amari Cooper. Got rid of Khalil Mack. I'm like, dude, why? Like these guys are actually Amari Cooper. I get he's drop heavy, like, and he proved that in the game against the Broncos. Like he dropped like 6 passes. I'm like, that's the Amari Cooper the Raiders had.
Except for all the other games where he's like tearing it up.
Yeah,
But
I mean he's a good receiver.
yeah. I mean, we definitely talked about, I felt like the Raiders have lost more people in off-field issues than they have by injury. Like you've lost more key players from off-field incidences than actual injuries itself.
Yeah. Well, Damon Arnett was benched because he wasn't playing well, but still, like, dude, he's a first round draft pick.
Yeah.
And Henry Ruggs, first round draft pick, like, in the same draft. And we lost both of them because they're stupid.
Yeah, basically. Alrighty, well, let's get into our NFL picks of the week. NFL picks of the week.
Picks of the week.
Picks. And the return of dun 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 dun.
You got them.
Dun dun
Yes.
dun 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 dun.
You finally unpacked your house and found them.
Yeah. Well, I found them when I was trying to find the Nintendo Switches so that way we could start playing that again. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I like found that too. And I got all excited. And Mel was like, did you find the Switch? I was like, no, I found this for the podcast. And she was just like, I don't care about that. So, excuse me. Do you remember what the updated score is for it, or should I like look at my phone?
Um,
Oh no.
I just threw my phone.
Yeah, man down.
Let me look because I know you sent it to me.
Yeah, I think I'm down by 3 now, but I don't know what the official score is.
Good Lord, we talk a lot, dude. Just scroll back a lot. So you were 90-42, and I was 94-41 going into this week. You are now 94. Oh, wait. Wrong. Sorry. Because
Whoops.
I didn't get the last 5 games. So hold on. You're 94, 95, 96, 97.
Yeah, and you're at 100.
You're at 97. I'm at 95, 96, 97, 8, 99, 100. Yep. 100 wins. So I don't care about the losses right now. I only care about the wins.
Only care about the W's. All right. So yeah. So gosh, if my lock and my upset would have come through, then I could have caught back up to you. But I don't think either of us got our locks or upsets. I think I might have gotten my.
You got your lock.
Did I get my lock? Okay, I got.
Yeah, because you picked the Cardinals, but I picked the Jets to win. They got dominated for my upset, and the Raiders for my lock, and they didn't even show up to the damn game.
Yeah,
And you had the Eagles as your upset.
which almost
And
happened.
well, it was because you didn't have a choice. Like that's kind of where you were at. You're like, that's the only upset game that I could take. So you took it. But yeah,
And I
we
still
did
almost got
bad,
that. The
dude.
Eagles still almost won.
I got a whole 6 points, and you got a whole 7 points. Like, that's bad.
It's terrible. Well, let's start with the first matchup of the week, which is the Thursday night football game, the 6-2 Ravens versus the 2-7 Dolphins. So I am losing, so I can start first. I am going to go with the Ravens on this one. Bum bum bum. Because
Yeah, same.
I mean, it's the Dolphins. They're in my bottom 5. So
Yeah,
what matchup do you have next?
I have the Saints and the Titans.
Saints and the Titans. So Titans, Titans 7-2, Saints 5-3.
I think this could be a good game. Trevor Siemian actually looked good in the last game. Even though they lost, like he still looked good,
Yeah.
but they lost to the Falcons. And the Falcons are a much worse team than the Titans. And I'm going to say, like, I'm just going to say this, like watching AP, Adrian Peterson, old ass, like 35-year-old Adrian Peterson on the Titans, he looked like Adrian Peterson from the Vikings. Like he looked good. Like he was running with power. He was running with like just he was amazing. Either way, though, I'm gonna lock this down with the Titans.
Oh wow, a lock. Oh my gosh. Locking it
Early,
up.
early.
Ching. Locking it in. Oh my gosh. Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna go with the Titans as well on this one after that big win against the Rams. Who's he got next? Who's he got next?
Sorry, I just got a text message, so I had to check that really quick.
No, you're fine.
All right. Up next, the New York Jets versus the surprising Buffalo Bills that lost to the Jaguars.
So the 5-3 Bills versus the 2-6 Jets. Are the Bills gonna lose back to back to like one of the worst teams in the NFL?
Right?
I'm gonna say nay. They will win the game and go with the Bills. They better be getting some bounce back after that embarrassing performance. Couldn't even score a touchdown.
Yeah, the Jets defense isn't that good. The Jaguars defense isn't bad. They're not terrible, but they shut down Josh Allen. Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills too. Oh, this one's going to be fun. I get to pick first.
Yes, you do, I guess.
It's the Lions versus the Steelers.
0-8 Lions, 5-3 Steelers.
I'd be stupid to take the Lions. I'm taking the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Steelers as well.
And then next game, we got the Colts, which are surprising. They're actually coming back this year and actually doing well, versus the Jaguars, coming off their win of the Buffalo Bills.
The momentum is in the Jaguars' favor. Are you gonna pick this as your upset?
You get the first pick, dude.
Oh, I thought it was you for some reason.
The last game.
Oh, excuse me. And man, oh man. Trying to look at some of these other games, see what's going on here. I'll go with it. I'll lock it up with the Colts. I'll lock it in. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-ching.
Oh yeah, you picked first. That's right. I'm going to take the Colts as well. All right, next game. The division leading Tampa Bay Bucks versus the Washington football team.
Oh man, maybe I should have put that as my lock. Can I change it?
No.
Yeah. I was like looking at all the games and I was like, man, what could I do as a lock? And I was like, oh, I don't really see any others. So I'll go with the Colts, man. And then the very next game, freaking serves it up on a silver platter.
Yep. I'm going to take the Bucks on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bucks as well.
All right, next game. We've got the Patriots, who are actually on like four out of the last 5 games they've won. And they've actually like been looking pretty good, versus the Cleveland Browns.
5-4 Browns, 5-4 Patriots. So both with equal records.
So no upset allowed.
Nope.
And it's your pick.
Man, I'm gonna go with the Browns. They want to prove something again without having Odell, so I feel like that's why they had like all that momentum the last game.
I'm going to go against you on this. I'm actually going to go with the Patriots.
Oh,
The Patriots are going to take that game.
okay.
They look good. They're surprising.
I like it.
All right. Up next, we've got the Cowgirls and the Falcons.
So the 4-4 Falcons against the 6-2 Cowboys, which Falcons are on like a 4-game win streak or something like that, right?
Yeah, they've actually been doing well. And the last time these guys met was last year. Remember, the Falcons had like a 20-point lead or some shit like that.
Oh, that's right.
And the
yeah.
Cowboys scored like 21 points, and they had like an onside kick that they recovered. Like, just destroyed the Falcon, came back and won the game.
Yeah, they like the Falcons like choked it away like hardcore.
They are Choke City.
That is true.
My pick, right?
Yeah.
Shit. I'm gonna go on the upset on this one. I'm gonna take the Falcons.
Dun 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 dun. Upset alert! Upset alert! That's a good upset. I like that. I was gonna pick it if you weren't. So, but to make up some points, I'll go with the Cowboys. I'll go against you just to play devil's advocate, try to get some more points back.
Not gonna happen. All right, next game I've got is the Panthers versus the Cardinals. Your pick. You gonna take the upset on this one?
Yeah, it's a negative Ghost Rider. Yeah, 4-5 Panthers versus the 8-1 Cardinals. So yeah, Cardinals.
And at one point this year, both of these teams were undefeated.
That is true. That is true.
So you're taking the Cardinals, so am I. I got to keep that lead intact. All right. Next up, we've got the Bolts versus the Vikings.
So the 3-5 Vikings versus the 5-3 Chargers. Whose pick is it? My pick, your pick?
Mine. I'm struggling with this because the Chargers have been so up and down. The Vikings have been kind of a dumpster fire, but they've had a lot of close games. They've lost like by a field goal or a lot. They remind me of the Chargers of last year.
Yeah.
The Chargers lost a lot of really close games. I think I'm going to actually take the Vikings on this game.
You're only doing that because you knew this was going to be my upset pick.
No, I honestly didn't think it would be, but
upset alert, going with the Vikings. You knew it. You wanted to keep those points away from me.
I want the Chargers to lose so that the Raiders can take back the AFC West. Up next, we've got the Seahawks versus the Packers.
So the 3-5 Seahawks versus the 7-2 Packers. Most likely it might be Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers. It potentially could be because they're both supposed to be trying to make comebacks this week. But if not, then it's Geno Smith versus Jordan Love.
Oh God.
I'm gonna go with the Packers on this one.
So am I. Gotta keep my lead intact.
That was an easy pick.
It is. I don't think the Seahawks are that good, so their defense is garbage.
Garbage.
Up next, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Denver Donkeys. And I pick first.
Yep, 5-4 Broncos, 3-6 Eagles.
Right now, the Eagles are 0-2 versus the AFC West. They lost to the Raiders, and they got beat down by the Raiders. And then the Raiders let them come back in garbage time. But, they kind of held their own against the Chargers. It was a close game. Like that, I really thought that they might actually beat the Chargers. And the Broncos looked invigorated against
the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are better than the Eagles. So I'm actually going to take the Broncos on this.
He's going with the Donkeys. Yeah, I'm going with the Broncos as well on it. Eagles have shown some good flashes, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Broncos after the big win over the Cowboys.
And then next we have the Sunday night game. I didn't miss any games, right?
No, as far as I know, you didn't.
So we had 4 teams on bye week this week.
Yes. The Bears, the Bengals, the Giants, and the Texans.
Perfect. Oh, the Texans will lose to bye week too.
Hopefully not by the same score. It was only by a field goal for the Lions.
All right, so we've got the Sunday night game of the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders. They both have the same record, basically. One's 5-3, one's 5-4. Who gets to pick me? Whoa. Man, even last year the Raiders took it to the Chiefs every time they played. Even with the Chiefs being such a powerhouse, and this year obviously Chiefs aren't as much of a powerhouse. Raiders coming off that hard win or the hard loss against the Giants that they should have won. Oh, this is actually a really tough pick for me because it's just like, if the Raiders can keep that pressure on defense, the Chiefs have just been crumbling with turnovers. I'm I'll go with the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders.
Wow. You've been on the Chiefs nuts for like 3 years, man.
Well, not on their defensive nuts, so
Yeah,
at least not this year.
fair enough. Um, yeah, I think they're going to keep the pressure up on the defense, and Deshaun Jackson is scheduled to actually play. He started practicing.
Nice.
So that's going to spread the field a little bit because, like Derek Carr, they did a press conference. I watched the press conference and stuff, and Derek Carr was like, Deshaun Jackson, dude, he's like 33 years old, but that dude is fast. He is so fast.
Yeah.
Like he obviously still has his steps. But yeah, I think Deshaun Jackson is going to come in and immediately help the team. It may not be like he may not have a huge game, but just his speed alone, if Carr throws at him a couple times, it's going to spread that defense out, and then the Chiefs are just going to get owned. But the Chiefs have Travis Kelce always has really big games against the Raiders. So just a little waiver wire information for your fantasy. Pick up Travis Kelce because he always has a really big game against the Raiders. It is what it is. But I'm still taking the Raiders to win the game. I don't think it's going to be a huge win. I think it's probably going to be by a touchdown, but that's it.
Awesome.
The next one is your team
Yep.
on the Monday night game. I think this is like their third Monday night game this year.
This year? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was.
They've had a
I know it's
lot
like
of
their
like,
third prime time game
yeah.
because they've had two Sunday night games. They'll have this Monday and they had Thursday. So
So it's their fourth.
yeah.
Damn. Versus the San Francisco 49ers.
7-2 Rams, 3-5 Niners.
I get to pick first.
Yeah.
Not even gonna like justify this. It's the Rams. Like they're just gonna destroy Jimmy Garoppolo. He's probably gonna get injured because he's a little bitch.
Well, Von Miller gets to make his first official start.
Oh.
So I'm excited about that and the chance the defense has. To be honest, people think that the Titans destroyed us, but our defense actually played well. Like if we didn't get some of the penalties that were called, the Titans wouldn't have gotten the touchdown that they did at towards the end. So I think our defense is still pretty stout. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams, and I think this is kind of like one of those games where Sean McVay's mad about what happened, and so he's gonna really push them this week, especially with it being a division game, and so he's gonna have them extra prepared.
Absolutely.
And who knows, maybe we'll get Odell in the process. Throw him in there. Von Miller did send out tweets to him saying, "Oh, OBJ, come chase a ring with me here in LA." So we'll see.
I could see him going to the Rams. In all honesty, I could see it.
It's living in LA, and that's where he wanted to go to begin with before he got traded to the Browns. He said he wanted to go to LA. So
Yeah.
he didn't say which LA team, but he said he wanted to go. So
LA Chargers were still in San Diego when he got traded to the Browns.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It was just the
a while
Rams.
ago.
Yeah, it was just the Rams. The Rams had just made the move from St. Louis to LA. He wanted to be on the Rams.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see if we can get something done and get him in there. I'd love to have him in there because I think McVay could utilize him the right way and make sure he stays in line on and off the field because he did wonders with Jalen Ramsey. So let's see if he can do the same with OBJ if we happen to get him. But apparently OBJ released some type of statement from someone he knows. I'm assuming probably his agent, saying that he wanted to make sure that he took his time on deciding where he wanted to go because he can go anywhere. So,
and this is the first time he's ever been a free agent. And it would be awesome seeing it would be, wasn't it him and who the hell was it that was the Josh Norman issue? Wasn't that OBJ?
I think it was, yeah.
When they got in the big fight in the field.
Yeah, it was the Giants and the Panthers when he was on the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
When Norman was with the Panthers. Yeah.
No, I don't think it was OBJ then.
It was somebody else.
Yeah, I just don't know who. I don't remember.
But why were you bringing that up?
I just want to see OBJ and Josh Norman in the same division.
Who's Josh Norman play for right now? The
The
Niners?
49ers.
Yeah.
This
Awesome.
Josh
Well,
Norman's a joke.
that is our NFL picks of the week. We will see how those go this week. Hopefully better than last week because last week was freaking cacas. But we'll see about this week. Fingers crossed that we gave you guys better advice this time. I think that's about it for everything else, unless there's anything else that you know that we forgot.
Just the hashtag.
Hashtag
Thomas.
Earl Thomas still not signed. So we appreciate the listens. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor, all the major podcast areas. Check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, all those different things. Spread the word. We love it. I'm hopefully gonna be able to find our cards somewhere so I can start bringing them to work again. So, and hopefully we can get some more people listening, more people watching. But until then, we will catch you guys next week. And
One thing I forgot. Completely spaced. Wanted to do a shout out to my buddy Larry, Larry Grissant. He actually, I want to get with you. He wants to actually come onto the podcast and be a guest on the podcast.
Cool.
At some point. So he's a Broncos fan. So me and him talk trash all year. But he's good people, knows his stuff about football. But yeah, I think he'd be great to have a guest, have him on a guest. So I just want to give him a shout out because he did reach out to me. He listens to the podcast religiously. He really is into it and everything. He loves that we do it. And yeah, he just wants to be a guest. So we'll get that
Nice.
set up, Larry.
Yeah, we'll definitely get that set up, Larry. I'd like to get your take on how you feel about Von Miller leaving and everything, and the picks that you got, if you think it was, worth it. So definitely would be good to get his perspective on that instead of just my perspective. So awesome. Well, yeah, we'll definitely get that set up. I love when we have like 3 people or more than, 2 people. Maybe we'll do 4 people. Bam, 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 bam. But appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.
Later.
Peace.